Black where the starlights gleam, a fearless crew still chases the dream. From Salisbury colonies ring blue skies, they light the dark where imagination flies.
Across the stars their cameras soar, capturing legends forevermore. The colonial fleet and Starfleet's might stand side by side through the endless night.
HarrisFilm Productions, Task Force 78. The stuff dreams are made of, exploring the frontiers we're part of. Through warp and through review, adventure spins on, with HarrisFilm blazing from dusk till dawn. A positive, creative voice is now online. From Orion's belt to the U2 zone, they guard the peace the stars have known. Trek connections, the stories flow, where classic dreams and new ones grow. In the AV Club, the signal hums, old tech revived, new vision comes. They stand united with passion and grace, a positive voice in the fan film space. HarrisFilm Productions.
Greetings, this is Steve Harry Harris and Ken Mays. We hope to have some more guests soon. I have to talk to one of them backstage in a minute. So we're here to watch Jefferson Kelley's latest episode, number 2 of Time and Again. And what do you have to say about that, Ken? Have you seen it yet?
Episode 2, no.
Oh, okay. Well, it's going live in a few minutes on our channel. So I'm going to put up the thing so you can see when it goes live. All right. And our guest has problems. There you go. All right. Well, hello there.
Why, hello.
It's Michael Stutelberg. Welcome to the show. Have you seen any of Jefferson's Time and Again episodes yet, Michael?
Maybe. I think so. I've seen parts of it, yes. I think he actually did feature the eagle in one of his films, though, which I was very pleased to see.
Yes.
So,
well, hopefully Jefferson will be able to join us a little later and talk about this particular episode. Any questions before we get started?
I'm not quite sure I've seen the first episode, but besides that, yes. So just want to give me a little background for this if I or anyone else has not seen the first one. So
Yes. This series explores basically part of the time war that was originated in Enterprise.
Cool.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can make that big screen for everybody. Yeah, I need to get rid of that, don't I? All right, here we go. Jefferson's in the house. Greetings.
How's it going?
Okay, good to see you.
Good, good. Yeah, good to see you guys too.
Merry Christmas.
In a moment here, you'll probably see my daughter get up and walk behind me. She's still hanging out on the computer, but the kids are getting ready to head home.
Okay.
And, hopefully they're not up too late for Christmas. Yeah. I appreciate you guys being here.
Same here. Very nice, Jefferson. Thank you.
Absolutely.
A few familiar faces there.
Yeah.
When you join Starfleet, there are things to expect. New worlds, new life, new species, exploration. And I won't lie, there's conflict, wars, also more anomalies than you could deal with in any lifetime. There's time travel, alternate realities, mirrored universes. But one thing Starfleet can't prepare you for is being responsible for the collapse of a universe.
You look great, kids. Now get out there and kick some ass. Save those timelines. What the? Oh, it's you. Yeah, I know who you are. You're the future man everybody keeps talking about. The guy who investigates the temporal Cold War after it's already happened. Yeah, I've heard about you. Why am I here?
You have quite a bit to answer for. The collapse of the universe is not to be taken lightly.
Oh, I see. You spoke to Cisco and Wolf already, yeah. And they blame the collapse of the universe on me? Nice.
It would seem you had something to do with it, considering your part in the temporal Cold War.
My part? Sir, you say that as if I am not the author, the director, and the choreographer. I have sent thousands of officers to multiple fronts in the future and the past to defend our reality from everything happening in the temporal Cold War. If you have a problem with that, look around you, realize you're still here, and thank me.
Can all the damage that you helped cause be restored?
Are you crazy? Yes, I'll just restore a whole universe from a backup drive somewhere. No, you idiot. You know what they say. Can't find good help these days, so you go to the old days. That's why I picked Cisco. That's why I picked Wolf. Look, Preston, Wolf, and I got along great at first. Preston even saw the merit in protecting the timelines. And why do you think I chose Preston? Like, his disappearance from the timeline would be pretty significant. Without him, you don't get his great-grandson. And without his great-grandson, you get something that rhymes with Alpha Quadrant getting its ass handed to it by the Dominion. You get me?
Of all the multiverse and all the timelines, why them? Why not Boone, Grissom, Menard, Hunter, Stahl, Allen?
They played a part. They all did. Whether they knew about it or not, that's a different story.
You have to stop what you're doing. This jeopardizes the temporal accords. Countless lives are at stake.
Don't you worry about that. I have a plan. I always have a plan.
All right, hang tight. Post-credit scene.
Oh, post-credit.
What? You think Cisco and Wolf are the only ones involved? How do you think Archer's Enterprise ended up riddled with 8mm Mauser rounds? That's the blessing of time travel. I can be in multiple places at the same time. Look, I'm not a Q or some madman who can just snap his fingers and erase half a universe. I swear. One wild-eyed scientist falls off his toilet in 1955, and 1,000 years later, I'm under interrogation. Perfect.
Yeah, I get the reference.
Was that Alan you're talking about?
What's that?
Were you
That
talking
was
about
a Back to the
Captain
Future
Allen?
reference.
Oh,
okay.
no, that was a Back to the Future reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one of the ideas that I had Well, I'll back up a little bit, just kind of talk about this episode, how it came to be. So originally, when I was writing the script for Time and Again, I didn't know quite at the time if I was going to do a multi-episode thing. I kind of always pictured it that way, but the first episode I had and wrote all of that, and it took a while before I realized, well, I might have more episodes out of this. And the big challenge that I had was the original concept of the first episode was kind of like the season 2 finale of Discovery, where the officers are being questioned by that Starfleet officer after the events of what happened with the USS Discovery. And I kind of pictured it as like a thing where something happened, some event happened, in this case, a collapse of a universe, and these Starfleet officers are being called in and being questioned about it. And I wanted, I had always talked to, my friend who played the part of General Valiant years ago. I told him, I one of these days I want to do a fan film, because I've been talking to all these guys that are these fan film creators, and I'd like to have an idea, come up with something at some point. And I wanted him to be a part of it. And at first, he was going to be a Q. And as I wrote the story, and I knew I was going to have difficulty in, so myself and the actor playing Captain Wolf, is my best friend Ben. He actually came to town. He's from Cincinnati. We grew up together. He lives in California, but he came to town to film with me for episode 1. And the guy that plays Director Kovich, who is a younger version of Kovich in Discovery, he's a coworker of mine. So we were able to film all of that episode 1 there on location. That's where we work. That's where Mark and I work, the actor that played Kovich. And it was really difficult because I knew that with Tyler that he was going to be, he's playing Valiant, but he'd be on a green screen out in California. But somehow I did make it to where he's talking to Kovich, but yet Kovich is kind of talking amongst the three of us who were involved in this incident: Sisko, Wolf, and Q. And I actually went to California. It was for a conference, for a work conference with one of our vendors, and I met up with them out there to talk about the film and just some ideas I had and things like that. And we talked for like hours at In and Out out there in California, and just went through the script, talked about the story. And the thing that I was having a very hard time with was because I knew I wanted him to wear that uniform because I'd seen him wear that before. And I thought, well, this is great. I've got to be able to make something out of this because it's just such a unique look. And as we kept talking about it, it was becoming very, very difficult for me to come up with a plausible reason as to, okay, why were these guys in the Discovery, the First Contact universe? Because, see, I wanted to use my coworker who kind of looked like Kovich, which was just dumb luck. Like the part was unwritten for a while. It was going to be somebody that you didn't see their face, but they talked. And then I realized, you know what? He kind of looks like, the actor that plays Kovich.
Oh yeah, yeah, he does. Same actor. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and I said,
that blew me away, man.
Yeah, and I said, you know what? I can have him play a younger version. However, I part of my story is setting up this multi-universe kind of thing. So Sisko and Wolf are from hinted at the Prime timeline, but yet we're talking to someone in the Discovery universe, because that was part of the plot in the script was there are multi universes, and here's why things change and what the difference is. And I kept asking myself, okay, so why would Q be involved in this? And
Right.
why would he be getting questioned, by Kovic? Could I make it real or plausible? Like, does he get pulled into are they in some temporal void or something? Or it just, the more we talked about it, it was working less and less and less. Like, I can't find a good reason for this character to be that. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I asked my friend, I said, hey, wait a minute, tell me again, what's the name of your character? The guy you dressed up as and played. And he said, General Valicant. And I said, okay, I got it. Why don't we do this? We're going to change the role from a Q to General Valicant. And as I was editing episode 2 and rewriting the script, I said, you know what? We're setting up this character pretty well. Why don't I put him in his own episode? So we mentioned him a few times in episode 1 of Time and Again. And I show some B-roll of him. And I said, okay, so we're going to set him up, kind of talk about him, and then we're going to have him be in the second episode. And I've got to tell you, to give compliments to these guys and their acting, it was great. I was very happy with the acting. I was a little worried about the length of the episode because the first one did have a lot of setup. There was a lot of stuff. There was a lot that had to be explained, and then the second episode was much shorter. But then, as I kept watching it and doing the editing and looking at it, I was thinking to myself, that's okay, because this character, General Valicant, is kind of more of a Colonel Jessup. He's talked about. He's the man pulling the strings. You do see him some, but he's not, Jack Nicholson wasn't in the entirety of A Few Good Men. He was in some scenes. The whole trial was about him and this order he gave.
Right.
So that's kind of how I approached General Valicant, was when he is on screen, when he does speak, there's a lot of meat. And, the vegetables are left at home. And the portrayal that I got was spectacular. I mean, my hat's off for the acting job there. It was to try to take that his character and how I've seen him play it before is and we talked about it a lot. I said, you've got a great character for the tone of this film. Like, here's your ceiling. I'm looking for not so much a Skeletor, but a Hannibal Lecter. And because there's that very narrow balance of where you could kind of drift into either one. So it's like, okay, really play it like this. It's kind of more of a dark sort of kind of thing. And the way he took it and played with it and did some ad-libbing, like the after credits, that was all just riffing. Because he sent me back some stuff, some scripted things, some stuff that was just riffing, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. I have to find somewhere to use this because it's very, very good. But he knocked it out of the park. They both did. Those guys did great, in my opinion.
Excellent. I agree. I think your casting is on target, and I'm very impressed. So, what do you say, Ken? Did you enjoy this episode as much as the first one? Maybe better?
Yeah, it continues from where we picked up, where it left off last time.
Right.
And the only complaint I might have was it drawing from the various realities of Star Trek, and it to me, and it is just my own personal preference, it shrinks the universe down a little bit.
What does?
Literally, not everything has to be connected. It's like
Oh,
some
Mm-hmm.
you know, it'd be like if you was to, I'm going to do a show which is going to combine I Dream of Jeannie with Bewitched, with Gilligan's Island, with Star Trek. And it's like, not everything needs to be connected because some things don't really go together.
right.
But
But I
But
think
if
but that, like I said, that's just my own personal preference.
and then there's holodeck
Right.
episodes, though. I mean, that sounds
Right.
like what you described sounds like a great holodeck episode.
let me introduce. This is Mike Stutelberg.
I
He's also a fan filmmaker. Tell us a little bit about the project you're working on right now.
Okay, so where do I want to start? So I actually came up with the idea, like the first episode of this arc that I'm working on,
What's it called?
the Ragnarok saga. So essentially, I started writing it. I released the first episode of it like 3 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long. So I released it because I had a general idea. Because I'm like, what if I do like a story arc, right? I released my first one. I watched it. I saw, tested the waters to see how it was going to work, and then I'm like, I'm just going to write the other 8 episodes all at once, and then film everyone's part simultaneously, because I'm going to do that for 2 reasons. One, when I first started doing fan films, like 2009, I realized it was kind of difficult to get people to stay long term for a series. So essentially, even like main characters, I got literally 2 episodes out of an actor. So I'm like, okay, if that's how it's gonna be, I thought, why not just do a big project? Because I realized my what I thought was my series final, which I made 4 years ago, that's like a 50-minute movie. I like that one. I love how it turned out. But you see, what I actually had to do was, just for like CGI purposes, I got the principal photography done in 3 months. But due to CGI, I had to split it up in 3 parts, and it took like a year and a half before the whole movie was released. So knowing that, I mean, we all know, production takes time. So what I did was, I'm like, why don't I just write a full season all at once, but write them in segments, write them as individual episodes. And that's what I'm kind of doing now. So
each episode's about 10 minutes or less?
15 minutes or more.
Okay.
The last episode's going to be about 40 minutes.
And what about you, Jefferson? Are you planning on longer episodes in the future? You're muted.
Yeah, he's muted, though.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted.
That's all right.
It's okay.
I think honestly it comes down to the script. Now, I have been writing for episodes 3, 4, and 5, and they are longer than 2. I don't think any of them are going to be any shorter than 2. I think 2 is going to be the shortest one. I don't know that they're going to be as long or longer than the first episode. It just, it's tough to say when you're going from script to what it translates to when you edit it. Because it's like, oh shit,
Well, it's
here's
about
the whole script.
yeah, it's about a minute a page.
Yeah,
Right.
That always seems how it ends up being for me too.
Yeah.
For filmmaking.
Right. Yeah. About a minute per page. So yeah, I talked to Jason, who plays General Valligant, and of course Ben, who plays Captain Wolf. And I've got some ideas, some scripting I've done for 3, 4, and 5, which is going to be handled almost kind of like a trilogy. 1 and 2 were a lot of setup, and the next 3 in the adventure they're kind of tied together. And I wrote a lot right before I went on PTO from work, and I took some time to step away from it to come back and have fresh eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of good stuff there, and you're right about the biggest challenge that I have is like what any fan film creator has. It's having your people to be able to film. And the thing is that I knew that in doing mine, that I wanted to do something different. Like I didn't want it to all be Combox stuff, which I get it. We don't have a lot of budget for traveling and filming and all those things, and
Right.
we know people all across the U.S. and sometimes that's all you're able to do. But for me, I said, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to write the script and story in a way where it allows for itself to be. I'm going to be on the road. There's an episode of mine I'm going to be doing. I don't want to give stuff away too soon, but
Right.
in order for it to work, for it to be how I would like it to be, I'm going to have to go on location, and so is Ben. In order to film one of these episodes with another actor, and it's just, but that is what would make the story actually work and stand out more, is us being in person and doing it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple episodes I've got planned that way of doing an in-person thing, but then also at the same time not do the bridge set, which is kind of the another old fallback for all of it is go on a TOS recreated bridge, meet up and do some stuff. So as much as I can, I'm trying to think of, okay, what can I do that's different? It's like I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but for me, it's what can we do on our side as script writers and storytellers to add in something that is just a little different. And
Right.
And Ken, what you were saying about the things kind of being tied together, and you're absolutely right.
You're eliminating a timeline, though, aren't you? That helps.
There is a universe, and we're not saying which one.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. It's just a universe, but that which is kind of the but see, that's the thing, is that's the launch of the whole story.
Yeah.
And in doing it, it was just the thought process I came up with was I'd like to do something that is able to involve other people in the community that are in different universes. Well, how can I do that and make it at least somewhat plausible?
Okay. Like, for example, Avalon Universe or George Cayenne's. Technically, he's TOS or Phase 2.
Antilles. So yeah,
Antilles, yeah.
Right. So Axonar Universe, Antilles, Avalon, Constar. Everyone's got all their different universes, which is great. And the way that we're set up is that myself and Wolf and Valigant, we were kind of pulled in as like temporal agents who were able to traverse these different timelines, these different universes. So that gives us an ability going forward to be able to include other people that aren't all in one universe. It gives us all kinds of flexibility to have these other parts or do these other things, because it's not that it ties everything in. It's just that you've got characters that are basically temporal agents, for lack of a better word, that are able to do these things and converse with these people in different universes, but not to say that they're all connected with each other. It's kind of like spokes in a tire, and we have the ability to go to all the different ends of it and expand on that. So that's kind of the thought process, but behind the whole thing.
Well, Mike had a question earlier today asking me about your series. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, so a few questions here. So when we're talking about the multiverse, so would you consider every different fan film a multiverse? Or as far as I'm concerned, we're all the same continuity unless we specifically state it's a different timeline. And I like to think that we are the unofficial Avengers universe. more or less. Like, I'd say we're all just one connected universe. We're already in Star Trek, so we are all the same continuity. And like anything, even primary Star Trek has problems from time to time maintaining continuity. But I still think that most fan films don't necessarily overlap with each other. Maybe if we're talking about two series like Continues and Phase 2 that are both about the same crew, but I mean, if they're original characters, I just presume we're all the same continuity unless we state otherwise. So, what do you think of that perception?
Yeah, for example, we're playing TOS Phase 2, okay? Right now we're in 67. We're going to 68. Now, our Christmas special's in 68. And, In Deep Mud is in 67, 2267. So, Where Do You Go is 2267. We are Entertaining Angels. But after that's done, we're shifting a couple of years into the future and doing Phase 2. What do you think about that? We consider ourselves as part of the main timeline, if you want to call it that.
Right. So, Steve, you may recall a few months ago, I just randomly out of nowhere asked, "Hey, what universe is Task Force 78 in? Would you say that it's the prime timeline or something else?"
Right.
And
yeah, so it's a spin-off, sort of.
Right. And so that I asked that question to Vance, to Alec, to Josh Irwin, and George. So anybody who's what I did was I asked them, okay, are you in? Now I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I just want to confirm. You're not in TOS, right? Like if I were to say you are Avalon Universe, that's its own like Avalon Universe. And Josh said, yeah, you're right. Vance, Constar Universe, that's Constar. Yes, you're right. Steve, are we Prime Universe or something else? And you said, yeah, Prime, main timeline. Okay, great. So I did. I secretly just randomly asked all these people, and it was out of context. I before that first episode, I didn't tell. No, I didn't tell anybody anything really. But that was the thing was, it's the presumption is, and it's established in the first episode that there is a multiverse. There are different universes. However, I did not take a fan film creator's film series and pigeonhole it into declaring that it was in a particular universe. It was only the ones that could answer yes to that. Like, yes, this is
specifically my universe. Yeah,
correct. Right. And then again, I didn't name all the possible different ones. Like I don't know if Joe Cepeda's. I don't know what universe he's in.
Nature's Hunger universe.
But right, yeah. And the thing is that I hope he's listening because I've got some ideas.
No kidding.
And he's coming to mind. But right, so I wasn't trying to pigeonhole anybody and say, well, you're in this universe and not the one you're in. It was just I want to make sure that when I say it, that I'm not contradicting anything that anyone's doing.
Absolutely.
And so the response I got was, that was all correct. And really, it was the only way I could think of a way to, because I wanted to do something that I felt was I wanted to be as inclusive as I could be, within my means, and also to play a character that is pretty much firmly based in the TOS timeline,
right?
Because I'm playing Benjamin Sisko's great grandfather,
right? And you did a fantastic job, by the way, on Where Do You Go? Okay,
I appreciate it.
We what was that, like 2 days? We filmed 3 movies,
Mm-hmm. Right.
Wow, that was a lot of time. Maybe 4, because you did the thing in the big green room where you were walking around. You know, and
That's
that's
right.
going to be great stock shot footage in the engine room.
I plan
Yeah,
to put you in the engine room right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So
Mike, hopefully that answered your question. It was just it was more of a I want to make sure I want to try to be inclusive and make as many people feel included as I could, but not try to put someone in their films in a universe that they're not in.
right. Now you also asked about Star Trek Online, right, Mike?
I did, because I saw the one uniform and I'm like, oh, I've seen that on eBay because that's described as a Star Trek Online Admiral's uniform. So I was just wondering, hey, that's really cool. So whose uniform is that?
So
Talking about
that
Valiant?
yeah, the actor that plays General Valiant, his name's Jason. That's his uniform. He got that custom made. Great uniform, and it's funny you said Star Trek Online because I played Star Trek Online from day one. I started with that game, and I played for many years, and then I'll stop playing for a couple years, and then I'll go back and try to figure out how to play again, and then I'll stop for another. I just kind of keep going back. I'm due to go back to it again here soon and spend a week trying to relearn how to play. You said you would or wouldn't?
I would. It's a good game, honestly. I mean,
yeah, it is.
It's an MMO that's like 15 years old, but still, it's like I enjoy it just because it's like they are really great at getting voice cameos.
Yeah.
It's almost like the entire cast of Voyager, the entire cast of Deep Space Nine, half the TNG cast have all been in the game so far, and it's a great way of continuation. Okay, this is before Star Trek Picard came out, but I mean, I've always loved it. So, and the writing is just so good on the game. It's like it's written by people who actually like Star Trek, and I think really appreciate that. So that's what I enjoy about it. I usually only play it. I think I've played every episode at least once, so I just go back to it whenever there's a new mission. So
right. So yeah, I know I asked him where he got that uniform, and he told me, and I forgot. But it was funny you mentioned Star Trek Online because when I first saw it, there's something about it. I said, "This looks familiar, but I can't place it. I just don't know," and that stuck with me. Like I feel like I've seen this uniform, but I don't know where. I think he, was this an original uniform or like an original custom made job? But then he told me it was based off of some Star Trek Online, and I said that's perfect because when do you? And that was the other thing. That was one of the big key things behind this series that really drove the story and uniforms of episode 1 and 2 was I needed to try to make it universe and time agnostic. So Captain Wolf is from the 24th century, and Cisco, of course, is from the 23rd. We haven't established a whole lot of Valigant's origins yet, but I wanted to have something that did not place me in a specific time frame or anything like that because all the stuff we're doing with Task Force 78 and then that film I did, The Unmade Mind. It's like, okay, I need to balance where am I in what year, what universe or timeline was I in, and so I came up with a uniform look. Like I want uniforms that look like they were in Star Trek but haven't been.
Yeah,
right.
And we want to keep from nailing down exactly what time period and what universe we're in. So that way, any uniform I wear, it works because we're doing these missions and we're all over the place. So my wardrobe of all these different uniforms from different universes, that's the thing is, I want to be able to wear these different ones. So if you see me in a Kelvin universe uniform like you did in episode 2, it's like, okay. Or you see me in this, whatever other uniform, I'm not my character originates from the Prime Universe. He's pulled somewhere 22, 60s, 70s, but the thing is that he ends up going back, he returns, or he goes back and forth. So it's a very like, okay, how do I do this make it work with the story, not mess up continuity anywhere else. And it was like, have you ever seen a hamster running in a wheel?
Yeah, you've been here at HarrisFilm Productions. You've watched us.
Yeah.
Look at kid. He's still resting, from all the overwork.
Right. And I think so far, at least I would hope so far, is that I've been able to pull it off. That it's all plausible and it works in regards to trying to pay homage to all the different people and the creators in their universes, because that's the inspiration. The inspiration I got for all of this was from all of you guys and from everyone in the different productions, Vance, Frank, George,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Jim, Josh, Sam, I'm sure I'm going to forget some names, but and I tried to put all
Don't
the
be
pictures.
insulted, because we've got so much on our minds now anyway.
Right. Yeah, but that was the thing, was I wanted it to be a spread out, like I want to try to include and say thanks to as many people as I can, and that's why I crafted the story the way that I did.
All right, Vance has a question.
Hey, Vance.
What does working on Star Trek mean to you personally, Jefferson?
So I became a fan of Star Trek when I was 5. This was in 1982 when Wrath of Khan used to come on HBO all the time. And I watched it every time it was on. And I just went full bore into Star Trek. And it's funny you asked this question on Christmas Eve. So you want to know how I found out that Santa wasn't real?
Uh-oh.
So it occurred to me, I can't remember how old I was, maybe 6 or 7, but I'd been watching a lot of Star Trek, and it occurred to me that, okay, wait a minute. There's no way Santa could get presents to every kid in one night unless his sleigh had warp drive, which it does not. And so I went to my parents with this logic, and they're just pretty much like, well,
you figured it out.
Yeah, that was how I figured it out. But so what it means to me is one of my earliest memories of watching anything was Star Trek, and it's always been a dream of mine to be in Star Trek. I've always imagined what would it be like to be in a Star Trek movie or TV series, and I just remember it would always blow my mind whenever I would read stories about any of the actors or actresses that would push back on like doing a movie or returning for a series. It's Leonard Nimoy. You had to fight with him almost constantly to get him to come back.
Right.
Denise Crosby felt like she wasn't getting enough done in TNG, and I'm just like, what? I don't. Okay,
you would.
What am I?
On Star Trek. What am I missing?
What am I missing that you get on Star Trek? I would be,
and then you stop. What's wrong with you?
I would be like Walter Koenig, who's not going to say anything about the discrepancy of Chekhov having met Khan, because I don't want any of my scenes or lines cut. It's already hard enough having to compete with Bill Shatner getting everything. So you would see me sitting here, not just saying my lines, being in Star Trek, enjoying life. That's what I don't get. And so for me, it was that dream that Ben and I had always had, was we always wanted to be involved in Star Trek. And once I started seeing fan films, it was the early 2000s with Hidden Frontier was the first,
fan films. Hidden Frontier was good.
Hidden Frontier, Phase 2, New Voyages.
Right. Star Trek Continues.
Star Trek Continues. All of that stuff. It's like, man.
Farragut, of course. Starship Farragut was one of the first ones.
Yep, Farragut. Exeter.
They built the set. Exeter, absolutely.
And it's just
Karisman, Joseph Karisman was on that one.
Yep. I always wanted to do it, but it just always seemed like it was out of reach.
Right.
And as I was doing the podcasting for my podcast, Beyond Trek podcast, it was a lot of Star Trek news, a lot of episode reviews. And one day I got an email from Sam Cockings.
Oh,
And,
Sam Hawkins.
Yeah. So
Cool.
Sam sent an email to the Beyond Trek podcast Gmail account, and he asked if I'd be interested in, doing some interviews, talking about, he had a film that was coming up, and he's got lots of films and all of that. And of course, I had seen Prelude to Axanar. Everyone did. We've all seen all the fan films.
Very professional.
And yeah. And so Sam emailed me and asked about that. I said, huh, sure, yeah, I want to talk to him about the fan films. And it was something that I had never done on the podcast. And as I did that first interview with Sam, and he told me about fans, talked about Frank, got me in touch with Nick. Look, it was in Star Trek Intrepid that has some crossovers with Hidden Frontier and all of that stuff. And I started to see that when you've got over 200 Star Trek podcasts, no one gives a shit about your Star Trek podcast unless you're an actor that was on the show.
Right. Absolutely.
So where are you going to carve your little tiny percent of an audience? What can you do or talk about that's different that no one else is doing? And I kind of felt like fan films was something that it just didn't seem like any Star Trek podcast was doing anything with. And so I got to meeting all of the different podcasters and not podcasters, I'm sorry, fan film creators, and talking to them. And we got to talking about so all of these films, you see all of this stuff and whatnot, like, how are you guys all doing this? And Vance gives me this cell phone bullshit. Like, what? Hold on.
You're filming your shows with a cell phone? What?
I said, excuse me? You're doing what?
Yeah, that was my first reaction too, but I'm doing it now.
and I'm like, okay, hold on a second. I mean,
you got 4K, right? So,
and it hit me
4K too.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, for years we've been holding devices in our hands that could do it. Now, granted, there was the longest time you had to have your big honking news station former big cameras or your camcorders. We had flip phones. We didn't have this technology,
right?
And I think it didn't occur to me that now we did, and now it was accessible for more people to do, and it just made me realize that, okay, so I'll never be in a Star Trek movie or TV show. I'm not an actor. It's cutthroat out there in Hollywood,
right.
That forget about it.
And you were going to do it for free anyway, right? So
right. Yeah, I know, right? Like, I would do it for free anyway. It's like these guys in the NFL that bitch about the contracts. The league minimum, I would take that. I'll hold a practice dummy and get hit for league minimum. You won't hear a single complaint out of me. And that's another thing.
That works for me.
Right, exactly. So then it came down to, okay, well, I've got this green screen that I was using for podcasting. I can use that. So it was just all this stuff.
And you learned how to balance the lighting, how far back to be, how far from the screen, and all of that. It was almost overnight for you.
Yeah. It's a pain, ain't it?
It
was. Yeah, it was. So that's
almost everything I've got from him is perfectly lit, balanced. Colors are great. It's fantastic.
And then there's my green screening. That's fun.
So
Vance said he has to go, but it's good to see us. You can watch the rerun, Vance. You can catch up on everything else.
Hope you enjoyed the new episode of the Ragnarok Saga.
Yes, Ragnarok Saga episode 2 is out. Mm-hmm. You want to talk a little bit about that after you talk about Star Trek?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. So let me talk to Ken for a second. Talk to me about what does it mean to you, Ken, to be in Star Trek, or what was the exact question?
Well, for me, it's similar to what.
What does it mean to you personally?
Yeah,
Similar to Jefferson?
yeah, it's similar to what Jefferson was saying about how he discovered Star Trek when he was young. Well, I discovered it in the early 70s when it first went into syndication.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be on TV at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And my dad would get home from work at around 5:15. So I got to watch the episodes, because once he got home, he commanded the TV and he did not like Star Trek, at
Wow.
least at that time. Later, he swung around to actually starting to like it and then actually started to look forward to the movies. But at that time in the 70s, no, that was not his cup of tea. And if he came home from work early for some reason, the TV was not on Star Trek. He would find something else to watch. So,
I hear you. I had the same
yeah,
thing.
I had some of the action figures. I had the 12-inch Mr. Spock, and I would carry him around in my shirt pocket and imagine that he was sentient and was observing the world through this doll's eyes.
Right.
And we used the deck at the back of our house to represent the bridge of the Enterprise. Me and my friends, we'd all stand around the rail, and each portion of the rail was a different console. And then we would jump down the ladder when it was time to beam down.
Mm-hmm.
And we would make the sounds.
How do you feel actually being in Star Trek type films now?
It's never been a big thing for me to be in front of the camera. I say about around 2012, I downloaded my first copy of Blender.
Mm-hmm.
And I started dabbling in 3D and learning that and everything. And of course, one of the first things I gravitated towards was building and rendering Star Trek ships.
Right.
I also did some Yamato stuff, but those ships are so insanely detailed, and finding good source material to build those with is almost impossible.
Yeah.
So I found out I could just download the ships off of Sketchfab, so that's what I did with those. But with Star Trek, there's just oodles and gobs of documentation, so it's easy, and I found Eric Reinhardt's video series on YouTube on how to build the Starship Enterprise in Blender. And I followed his tutorial steps, step by step by step by step, and I learned so much about Blender. Just from following his tutorial. There were things about that program that I had no clue about. Like, how do you work with the graph editor?
Okay, yeah.
I looked at the graph editing thing and I went, okay, I have no clue what this is, and I just backed out of it. It took me a long time to even get into cycles. I was still in Blender 2.79, and I would go with the default Blender render, which isn't even full ray tracing. It's like a raster kind of thing.
Oh man,
And
that sounds hard.
It took me a long time to get into actually cycles rendering, which was ray tracing. And even then, I had trouble getting into the node editor because I took one look at the nodes and they just scared the crap out of me. It's like, this looks insanely overcomplicated.
Yeah, I can't do the things. There's some VFX in the editors with nodes. I can't handle it.
But following Eric Reinhardt's tutorial, I picked up the basics of the node editor, the basics of the graph editor. I learned, the graph editor, I learned how to make lights blink on and off in a cyclic pulse. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, you don't have to set on, off, on, off, on, off throughout the entirety of the video. All you do is just one cycle, and then click one button to say cyclic, and
Yeah.
it just on off automatically. Nothing, like, yeah, oh, this simplifies everything.
It sounds like you want to work on Jefferson's films and do some VFX.
Suddenly things started coming down to a level that I could comprehend and understand and work with.
Right.
And I'm one. It's hard for me to work from reading a manual.
Yeah. A lot of people are that way.
I don't.
You need hands-on.
I'm hands-on. I have to learn by doing. And in
Right.
order for it to stick, I have to do it and then do it again and then do it again and do it again and just keep doing it until it's sunk in. It's like I learned how to create flame shooting out of an engine.
Right.
Mhm.
I've done it 2 or 3 times, and it's now been like 6, 7 years since I've done it. I would have to go back and review the tutorials that I followed in order to do it, because I didn't rinse and repeat enough times for it to really sink in.
Yeah.
Right.
But yet,
So if
you've
I
been
ever
able
have
to
called-
do
If
some
I ever have called to
complicated
do
stuff.
that again, I've got to go back and relearn it again.
Yeah. Well, look at this shot that Ken did for Michael Stutelberg's episode 2 of the Ragnarok saga.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's no sound. This is the VFX part, raw data, raw output. That is fantastic. And in context, that's underwater. Okay.
Mhm.
That's why it looks a little odd for a spaceship. But talk to us about this, Michael. In the Ragnarok saga, what happened there?
What do you mean, like just CGI wise?
No,
Well-
what's the context of this shot?
Well, I can't give you that. That's spoiler.
Watch episode 2.
Okay. Well, long story short, so that is a model that Ken, thank you so much to the Kismet, that model. That is a custom-made CGI model. I think it turned out great, and we'll be seeing that ship throughout the rest of the series. So the upcoming episode. So we'll get mileage out of it, but so that is a civilian ship. So a friend of mine, and from Canada, he wrote the episode, right? So he wrote most of the screenplay, and so he thought of the idea of doing an episode about a civilian operation. So we have 3 civilian characters that are archaeologists that are on a mission of finding something and a lost civilization. Not going to tell you what they find, spoilers.
It looks interesting, underwater city there. Like, whoa, are we at Atlantis?
Yeah, more or less. I just went on a website and looked, hey, can we find a free underwater city Atlantis model? Ken, can you download this? Yep,
Yeah.
I can download this. Okay, there we go. I'll
Awesome
tint
sauce.
blue. There we got it. But yeah, so yeah, I know that we went through a few different versions of the model for the Kismet, because I wanted something that looked civilian enough, like not Starfleet, but still the same 60s vibe to it, so you could tell it's original series era.
Right.
Now the bridge is the very flat gray. It has the rectangle, the tag board readouts, and I glued buttons on it. It had the white lines to it. So now I wanted to make it look 60s, and all the characters are in turtlenecks and jumpsuits and vests. So I thought that's the only thing, something that's not too difficult to make, too different to come across. But I mean, I already had a few jumpsuits to make, so I wanted to make it look very something 60s. Yep. Also, AI. A lot of the shots are AI, which, I mean, I wrote this script 2-3 years ago.
Well, it's a combination of AI plus CGI.
Yeah.
That particular thing is a mask that Ken made with some free-to-use VFX that are online at someplace like Vidizi or Vectizi. I don't remember which.
I use Video Express AI. I paid $40 because there's a sale on it, because Mr. Jose recommended it to me. He's like, "This is what I use. You should get it. There's a sale on." I'm like, "I got this." And now it's very addicting because it's interesting that when I wrote this episode 2-3 years ago, I wasn't quite sure I was going to do it. I'm like, "Am I going to use practical effects? Can you do this or that?" And it's like, little did I know that the technology would be invented by the time. Oh, spoiler. Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
Whoops, spoiler. But no, yeah, we're still working on that. I'm trying to render it because I haven't gotten that specific scene quite right.
Yeah, it was just one of those things.
Testing things, but no, that was also a great example of AI, of how it's coming along. But speaking of which, YouTube is just completely filled with AI shorts and AI
Weird
this.
stuff. Yeah.
And it's very good for expression, and I think for FanFilm, I'll definitely be getting my mileage out of it. But I mean, I've been playing with it too, where it's like it can do general things, like, but it can't really do spaceships specifically. Like I put some of the footage that we had with one spaceship, and it literally morphs the spaceship into a different spaceship because it's thinking this is a spaceship. This is what I think a spaceship looks like. See, that's the problem with it, where it is limited. It is definitely limited. But with the right sources, yeah, the tools are fantastic. So,
and you have to get to learn how to play with the system. You know, you got to learn how to tell it, I want a static shot. I don't want any camera movement and that kind of stuff, like on Croc. This was the first thing it did when I uploaded a photo.
That was one of the big things that really helped me to actually start doing my film, was that Adobe, having access to Adobe.
Oh yeah, the AI part.
And yeah, the AI part, because I had been using the applications for editing the podcast for many years, but the AI part, having AI to be able to do images, sound, and that was the big thing, and that was one of the other things that was kind of holding me back from doing a film. Was like, I'm not. Some people can really do the special effects applications, and they do them well.
Yes, thanks, Ken.
Right. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm not, I'm not gonna. I don't want to, have to try to get a music composer. Pay somebody to do special effects, all this stuff.
Right.
But with the AI, it's like, oh, wait a minute. So when you listen to any of the music, go back and listen to any of the music in episode 1 or 2 of my series. That's AI. That was AI music. All the graphics you see and all of that, that's AI. It's just a matter of the prompt. How good can you make the prompt? And do you get lucky or not? And a lot of it is, you find that segment of music that the AI gives you. It's like, is this what you want? And you kind of listen to it and you're like, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, you got it. Like right here is good. But yeah, with cell phones and AI and the things, a little mic, little microphone that you could. I plug the thing into my phone.
Yeah, it's a wireless.
And it's a magnet. It was a magnet.
Right.
So it's just, we have the tools, and that's the thing is,
the last 5 years, a lot of technology has just made things easier. I don't like the idea of AI running a computer and landing a plane necessarily, or that kind of a thing. I'd rather, I know that there was an emergency this week where a plane had to land itself, and that's fantastic. That civilian plane did not crash into somebody's house and everybody die. But the same thing, I don't want it running my country, All right. I'm going to switch over to, we've got a premiere going on right now. I'm going to let you guys watch with me.
Really?
This is our latest film for Christmas. It's our Christmas present to you. So let us enjoy Task Force 78, Christmas Greetings 2268. And let's see if I can get the sound on here. I tweaked the intro a little bit.
This is Task Force 78. Their mission to explore, patrol, and protect Federation interests along Orion's belt and the Klingon neutral zone.
Seasonal greetings. I'm Captain Lucius Cartier.
It's good to see you.
And I'm Luna Solaris.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Captain. Bandit Boss. Out.
Open a channel to Commander Stahl on Columbia. Commander Stahl.
Hey, what's going on there, Captain Dillon?
Long time, my friend.
Yeah, sorry you're stuck on the border while we're having a party at K2.
When did you get to K2? I thought you was on the Columbia.
We're on the Columbia, but the Columbia's at K2, silly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you see where I'm at. Okay. And we're en route to the station now.
Oh, that's going to take a while, though. Guess we'll see you for New Year's Eve.
We'll see.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And Merry Christmas to you, and tell everybody there at the station Merry Christmas from the Albatross and the rest of the crew.
Will do. Take it easy, my friend.
You too. You take care of yourself, and tell Miss Linda hello from me and the rest of us.
All right, will do. She says hello. Hope to see you soon.
You too.
All right, be safe, my friend.
All right, you too. Take care.
All out.
Dylan out.
All right, Mike Locklear, I hope you're watching.
Krampus.Dijai Nash TJ Kume Potla 78.
What?
This is Commander Marsh from Task Force 78, wishing you and yours a happy holiday season. Kerplot!
Hail the Iron Empire!
Mike, you remember this song, right?
Yeah, I like the one.
Captain Drug. Stardate. Who the hell cares?
Captain Drug.
Got these stupid orders in from command telling us that because they're afraid of Orion sensibilities being offended, that we're not to celebrate Christmas this year. Well, screw that. I'm in command of this ship, and I say we're going to celebrate Christmas. Standing order. Christmas trees will be displayed. Proper respect for all religious backgrounds will be respected, and no one's going to be denied their right to practice their faith the way they want to do it, short of human or animal sacrifice. My Cation first officer was concerned about that. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter. And log entry. Speaking of my Cation first officer.
Who do you think you are? Disobeying me.
What time was I supposed to meet you at your quarters?
2100.
What do you want? I'm in the middle of something here.
Hi, I'm Marissa Lynn.
And I'm Randy Sweeney.
We would like to wish you and your family happy holidays from Task Force 78. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Special thanks to No Budget Productions and Phil Barrett for your support over the years.
Transmission complete.
Alrighty then.
Hey guys, I gotta run. But
okay.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. It's always a lot of fun doing stuff with you guys. So thank you very much.
We appreciate it too, and don't be a stranger. Cisco's going to show up on a couple of new films soon.
Good.
The next episode of the Ragnarok saga arc. So your cameo will be in the next episode.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice. I like it. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. You have a Merry Christmas.
You too, buddy.
Merry Christmas too.
Merry Christmas. All right. So, Mike, you want to talk any more about Ragnarok?
Well, more so, less. I'm looking at the sheets that I have. So far, I wrote all the following 8 episodes, right? Starting from the first one that I made a few years ago. I wrote it, which was a lot, right? So me and a friend from Pennsylvania, we wrote virtually together Google Docs. So I throw out ideas. He helped me through it because this big Wagnerian epic that I have, I'm just like, how am I going to pull this off? But I slowly have been doing it. And so far, I've just been filming all the characters all at once. So it's like, okay, you're in this many scenes.
That's the only way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. This many scenes in episode 4, this many scenes in episode 5. It's more so like I'm just filming one big 2-hour movie.
Yes.
I added up all the pages, and it's like, so it should be, if you watch all 9 episodes, it should be like 2 hours. So it's like, we're getting there. But, so as far as that's been going, I really just need the set. So I just got it up yesterday. A friend visiting out of town spent some time, helped me get it set up.
Which set are you on now?
The bridge set.
For the Kismet or?
Yeah. Well, I have 2 sets. So one set I'm working with the Kismet, which was like the gray room, the civilian ship, and I also have the Enterprise size. It's a I think I just posted on Facebook. So I've used that. If you've seen my earlier Eagle episodes, that's the main bridge set I have. So we have that done. And once we get that done, we'll be able to schedule with actors. One actor isn't free till January, around late January. So we're good with that. So we definitely have time to get that set up. But yeah, once that's done, that's like just 90% of what I need to get done, honestly. And a handful of CGI shots. Most of the CGI shots for episodes 3, 4, and 5 are actually done. There's probably like about 5 shots total.
I was looking at the shot list, and it looked like most of the Kismet stuff comes in about 2 more episodes down the road.
Yeah. So it does get spoilers, right? So I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, it does survive. It does survive. So there's not a lot of shots needed though. But yeah, so if anyone has any questions about the scripts, so we're doing that. So it'll be super fun. So just that, and as soon as we get that, I do have the group chat. I did let all the actors know, like, hey, by the way, we're filming this spring. So
yeah, that's with us too. We usually film like between February and June, I guess, roughly, and then we do the pickup shots later. So what did you think of the Christmas film? Did you enjoy it?
I liked it. It had a good aesthetic to it. The CGI looked great. I saw the music, the music that you've done, the AI, I liked that. So, it just the blender.
Yeah, I write the lyrics, but I have to get a musician to do the song. So Suno is usually my go-to, and AI song generator is usually Ken's.
So. Yeah, I've not used the AI song generator yet, but no, it looks cool. So yeah,
it's a little rough around the edges, but
yeah,
it was a rush job too. I've been working on it for a month. Ken, did you like it? Okay.
I thought Maurice and Randy's part at the end was a bit jangly on the editing.
Yes, it had to be. I had those issues with the green screen, and so I just made do with what I could. They liked it, so I'm happy.
I seem to remember an earlier edit I saw that actually looked better.
Yeah, but the what you saw was not even. It was just the green screen part. You didn't actually see any compositing. So yeah, there was a better edit.
There was also an editing issue at the beginning when Vandenboss was talking to
Captain Carter.
Yeah, it kept switching back and forth between them really fast.
Yeah,
and it was like that just got confusing.
Yeah,
you needed to linger on one or the other a little bit longer.
Agreed. I needed more footage. I think Mike's run into that too, where you have limited footage of somebody not doing anything, right? You know what I mean?
See, all you got to do with that, as I've learned, is, and I've also been working the past couple of years. I've been working on a Legend of Zelda fan film with some friends.
Cool.
So I've been able to do stage help, right? And I've been able to see how other fan films do stuff. So good friends that I've been really helping with their production and seeing how other productions are done, and I just help out where I can. But one thing it's interesting learning from other people. Like, for example, for most of my fan film career, I've been sort of a 2-3 take sort of director. It's like, you get it, it's good, right? And I have a friend who's the Stanley Kubrick of takes of, yes, we need to do this scene 8 times to make sure every single, do the whole scene, right? So I've really
do more angles.
Well, the thing about angles is I've just learned is like you do the whole scene or as much of the scene as possible with a wide, right?
Yeah.
And then you get close-up coverage, because if someone has their arm at a different one, because it's like I've had to make that decision with editing. It's like,
but different angles too, a side angle, both side angles if you can, and from over the shoulders, especially if you're in a cockpit looking at a screen, you need to see behind the characters so that you can actually put that screen in front of them and see the people whenever you have some dead space, people aren't talking or whatever, and you have a good transition time.
Then again, I don't have a green screen set up, and that the space where we're filming there is not big enough to put a green screen in front of the actors. Because if you do that, you'd have to reset the whole lighting. Because I actually have like a lighting set up there, and I'm like,
then put them in a green screen area one at a time and get those angles.
I don't know.
You know, over the shoulder is usually one of our big go-to angles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw the over the shoulder that we used in the Christmas film for me.
Possibly. I mean, you know what? Next, I am planning to do some more filming in January or February.
Mhm.
So once, one actor is, this is his busy time of season for cleaning. One actress, she's on vacation.
Right.
Out on the coast. So we're just taking a break for a few weeks. So hopefully within the next month, we can get something scheduled or something filmed for the second half. So I'll definitely take that into consideration. We'll do some more over the shoulder shots.
Yeah.
Wide shots. But yeah, so it's like, as far as I'm concerned, they were.
Well, if nothing else, when they're in the shuttle or on their bridge or whatever, and you've got that POV shot of them from the forward part of the bridge, looking back towards the crew. If they're leaving or something, make sure you get a wide angle of them moving around, then get shots of them doing the same thing individually. And you've got some extra shots that you can, intercut.
That's just the thing with like cinematography. It's like when I'm always editing, I always love the close-ups.
Yeah.
Love the close-ups because you can really see the performance. But
Right.
the problem is that it's going to feel claustrophobic. So that's always pull the camera.
Medium
back,
shots are
put it
good
away
too. Yeah.
when you feel like you want to, just so you can get the full screen.
Yeah, I love the two people angle that the medium shot with 2 or 3 characters in it. That's fantastic for me. I think you did a great job on the film.
Well, thank you. And that actually, most of the directing was done by a friend. He wasn't acting. Well, he's acting in the film, but like later episodes. And he's a great director, my friend Steven. And he's like, mind if I direct? I'm like, go for it.
Drop his name. What, Steven
Brewer. So he's
Brewer.
doing
Okay.
He's doing a Legend of Zelda fan film. He's playing Link, and he's doing his series as the adaptation of Ocarina of Time. It's an N64 game. So I've been helping them without watching the production the last 2 years or so. So it's been fantastic. So, and he's also helped me. We've worked with him. Like, hey, I know this actress. Hey, I know this actor. Right. So we've been working for. He has a green screen at his place. So he's been gracious enough to let me use his green screen for actors because I live like an hour west of Minneapolis. So I traveled to the cities, as we call it. Like I go to the cities pretty regularly, but it's kind of difficult to get people who live in a big city to drive out to the rural areas. So
Right.
having good friends connection allows you to use green screen and be able to say, hey, I want to drive over here. It's 20 minutes instead of over an hour. So
Right.
you can definitely find people that have acting talent. So it's like my original episodes, just sort of getting together friends from high school, see what you can. When I first started making movies 15 years ago, and now it's like when it's Facebook and everything and connections, you can actually like find people who are just genuinely phenomenal actors, and it's great watching scary good performances. I'm like, this is fantastic, and I love it. Right. So, and people who have opinions and people who enjoy writing and people enjoy acting, that people who act in commercials, they're like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. Yeah, I'm free that day. Right.
Well, I like to think of our fan films as a kind of community theater, while we have a different approach because of the green screen technology.
Oh yeah.
But I think we've changed it up quite a bit from the standard combox situations.
Yeah.
With the 3 camera angles and different intercuts and that kind of thing, and of course the fantastic VFX. We've got some great music by actual musicians like Jeff Barnes. He goes by Jeff Thomas. Jeff Thomas Official is what he goes by on what's that song? I forgot the name of the there's a site where he's got his music. I'll have to put that in the show notes later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fantastic when you can get great musicians to volunteer also. But community theater is all volunteer, and that's what we are. So you've got to arrange things with your actors and the writers and everybody who's available at whatever time. Meet online and do the thing, and then get it to the editor. So you've got a more difficult situation where you actually have to go on location. Fantastic locations in episode 2, by the way.
Thank you.
I love that church and the rocky place you were in, the cave. Those were fantastic, and I just couldn't believe how lucky you were to find those places that actually fit so well within the story. Even Ken was impressed with those.
Thank you so much. Filming there was fun. A lot of mosquitoes. So it was fun. That's me and my actors all dressed in full costume had to take a good 10-minute walk to that, because that place is actually just a waterfall.
Right.
Like obviously it's not pitch black, so what it is, it's like a cavern. It's like this cave.
Sort of a cavern.
The cave is enclosed, but it's more so just this rock quarry where it's like a stream goes down. Beautiful site. It's just hidden on a trail by the Mississippi River in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And it's fun because I'm also part of this page, this Facebook page called Hidden Places in Minnesota. People just put pictures of cool old destroyed buildings, of cool nature stuff. And I'm like, Steven, here, this scene. We need to film here. I don't know what scene we have to film here, but if you have scenes, we need to film here because this looks cool. I've also learned in the world of filmmaking, if you have to ask permission, don't bother.
Right.
So look for places that are in the public, because it's like just making sure it's like, hey, can I film here? If it's on a nature walk, film, right? I've gotten away with filming like basilicas, which are okay. You'll get some weird looks, but as long as at least one priest says you can do it, and it's like, okay, sure.
Right.
But no, trying to think about the interesting areas. I filmed at the St. Paul Capitol. That was cool. So that should be in the next Scattered. I filmed there like twice. Got some really good scenes there. Gonna have to do some dubbing with it.
Well, that's not easy necessarily, but it's usually better when you've got echoes and that kind of thing that you're dealing with. Go ahead and just dub over.
One of the issues is we had a film with Thor, and we had this good dialogue. I didn't realize, like, on a Saturday at the state capitol, from you, Bezzy, there's a literal convention going on, and I'm like, okay, where do we make the angles where you can't see the people, and where do you film this where it's like, and then just like, yeah, no, we're gonna have to dub this. Nope.
Yeah.
Next day, the next time we filmed there a year later, I ended up getting lucky and not being in an extremely busy day, because sometimes it's a great place to just walk around in. And you just have to let them know, like, hi, can you can I have a camera? Yep, your camera's fine, right? So just double check someone at the front desk, and they're usually fine with it. So one thing I've been really trying to push myself with this series is like, get as many locations as possible, and just say. And it's also dealing with mythology, so it's not necessarily something that looks like Starfleet headquarters.
Right.
Buildings that look like just the plain white buildings that you could if you wanted to, but it's also more, since there's like mythology aspects, like what some good places in nature to film, what are some buildings and structures that would look big.
Well, that's the thing about good Star Trek or good sci-fi in general is, the locations. And the thing is, with the original Star Trek, they were running out of money. Their budget was tight, so they had to do shows on the ship because they couldn't afford to go to the big old rock out there at the Vasquez Rocks, every week. So that's
looking at like the original Star Trek. I mean, when you have a budget of producers saying like, they're used to producing Leave It to Beaver, where it's just sitcoms of real life and
no action,
right? No special effects. I mean, how many TV shows had special effects, period, in the 60s? So, I mean, I mean, people say like, "Oh, Star Trek the original was low budget." Like, no,
No, it wasn't.
it was pretty
It was
intense.
very high budget for the time.
For the
People
time.
are thinking in our dollars, you know, 2025 or 2026 dollars. We're talking 1966 through $70, okay? And it's a totally different thing.
And that's the one thing I think the original series doesn't get credit for, where it's like you see. Okay, I am one of the people that says Star Trek has not been good for 20 years. The last good episode was the last episode of Enterprise. I don't care. I liked that episode.
It was
But
okay. I would have preferred another season with the Romulan Wars, like our
Same.
friend, you know.
Yeah.
You know, give a shout out to our friend who was doing the Romulan Wars
Yes.
videos. You
and
know,
I played the Lieutenant Durant on that, so that was fun. I enjoyed doing that series though. But yeah, like season 5. So my basic thing is where we see the last 20 years of Star Trek. We saw the Kelvin timeline, right? And they're like, "Hi,
I watched about 10 minutes of that movie, the first one, and I'm done.
I feel like I've watched each of them once, and that was enough.
Yeah.
It's just like they're action movies, but it's just kind of like I don't want a reboot. This is
Okay. You know what it is? JJ, look. Okay, I got to go big screen on this. JJ Abrams, honestly, I love you. Okay. So take this the right way. Alias was fantastic. Your TV series that you make that are your own ideas, they're fantastic. But the movies that you made that you're calling Star Trek, sorry, you're Fast and Furious in space, and that's just a ripoff. Okay,
exactly.
You used characters' names and ships' names and such, but you know it's not the Star Trek we expected. And if you love the JJ universe, that's fine. Don't bash me. I'm not bashing you. I'm just saying for original Star Trek type of fans, that's absolutely not what we expected. And obviously, we're not the demographic, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I didn't care about the JJ verse. It's just like it was one epic why. Like this is not the Adam West to Michael Keaton model.
Exactly.
Another retelling. This is not the James Bond model. This is for 30 years up to that point. Like it's all the same continuity, but it's just different time periods, so you can make it look different. Like we don't need to retell the original characters. You can make new characters.
Well, everything was so different. Yeah, they should have actually come up with new characters in a different timeline. It would have worked a lot better.
Not even less timeline. I wouldn't have minded like if it said 100 years after Next Generation.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a difference between time frame and era, timeline.
Yes, time frame. Sorry, era. Should have been a different era.
Yeah, and it's amazing how they then they went to Discovery, where they did literally the exact same mistake, except it's not an alternate timeline. And see now you're not following a canon or aesthetics in the same original series time frame, but now you don't even have the excuse of why it's different. See, that's what I didn't like about Discovery. And then
well, that's what they claimed at the time. Now they've retconned it so that it's a different timeline.
I don't even think that's what they're trying to do, because the one line in Strange New Worlds where everyone says, "Hey, Strange New Worlds is good." I'm like, yeah, it has some good episodes if you're in the middle of Stockholm Syndrome, where it's like,
well, I mean, the episode with Little Khan in it was good, and it explained why they are doing what they're doing because it's a different timeline. The Romulan agent, spoiler alert, said, "I've been trying to get rid of this kid for years. It was supposed to, launch in 1998.
I know, and I absolutely hated that. Like, well, I mean, it's interesting what they're trying to do. Because they're talking about the internet was all ablaze when that episode came out. They're like, "Are you saying this is all a different timeline?" They're like, "Well, we want the audience to think that the events of Star Trek are in their future." Right? I'm like, okay, so it's basically a continuity thing where you don't think that the fans are going to like it if you don't, but you just said that all your shows are in a different reality now. because that's how
Well,
time.
I mean, it's the same with. Okay, look, TOS obviously was written in the '60s.
Yeah.
The movies were written in the '80s. Roughly, the first one was in the '70s, but in the '80s. And then generations ended the TOS era. Okay, fine, but if you want to go and be a hard-nosed TOS canon person, then you have to realize reality and canon. Okay, canon, we're already on Mars, right? We're already on Mars, and we've got colonies, and we're doing all this stuff. But in reality, where are we? So we're obviously in reality in a different timeline than the original TOS is, and I'm fine with that.
we're already near Saturn because Captain
Yeah.
Christopher's son
Yeah,
commands the first Earth-Saturn mission.
and that was supposed to be in like '98 or something.
Grandson. Maybe he meant
Right.
his grandson.
And see, that's the thing. It could
Spock
also be.
Spock was very specific.
No,
I agree, but the problem is you can also retcon it as saying, well, it was a mistake because World War III screwed up our records keeping, and
Okay, here I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I know novels and stuff aren't canon, but there's a phenomenal novel. You can watch it for free, audiobook on YouTube. It's called The Eugenics Wars. It's 2 books.
Yes.
It's phenomenal. I love it because it actually fits into canon. And basically they're like, well, it did happen in the 90s, but it was all like behind the scenes and Black Ops. It's even if you just like a good Tom Clancy type spy novel, where it's like working in events, like they talk about the wars in Yugoslavia and the Ayatollah and the fall of the Berlin Wall, right? All the stuff that happened in the late 80s and 90s, and there's revolutions in India and all these cool historical events. And I'm like, I like this because it actually fits it in. So it's like, well, and then this the Botany Bay was an experimental prototype that was launched from Area 51, and Jeff Carlson, who was like in the Deep Space Nine episode, he was involved with Janeway's ancestor, who was involved, and the guy who invented transparent aluminum, and Voyage Home is involved. So it's really fun. It's probably my favorite Star Trek novel, just for the sake of it's like it explains why Khan left Earth in 1996 when obviously that didn't happen. So they're like, well, how do you retcon it? It's like, well, there's the events and there's these different factions of augments that are causing trouble in Yugoslavia and Somalia, right?
And there's different perceptions of what a world war actually is, too.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
Except Spock clearly stated whole populations were being bombed out of existence.
Well, if you think about Ukraine, that's going on right now. Nigeria, lots of places.
Yes, but this was back in 1996.
Yes,
I know.
Well, he's speaking in jest.
Yeah.
So
the only thing that was really going on then was the Bosnian War.
Exactly. I know they had to choose the 90s, and then they realized that was going to be the most peaceful decade of the 90 years.
Except Yugoslavia.
Except Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Bosnians and Croatians and Serbs and.
On a side tangent, I wanted to mention this to you, Mike, because I know you like doing World War II reenactment and
Heck yeah.
The uniforms and all that.
Mm-hmm.
There on I don't know if you're aware of them. On YouTube, there is a group of British filmmakers. Their channel is called Squire, and they do a lot of World War II comedy videos.
Oh yes, they're graphic violence.
Recently, they actually came to the United States, to Texas, and they filmed in their costumes and uniform and all that, but using real tanks and real half-tracks, firing real weapons.
Oh, yeah. I've ridden.
What they do? Go to Fort Hood?
I've ridden in tanks before. I've ridden in half tracks before. A couple months ago, I got to fire a Flak 88. Not just I got to fire it, as the guy tells you to fire.
But look up Squire on YouTube.
How do you spell that?
Squire.
Squire. All right.
Yeah.
And their humor is so off the wall funny.
Oh, they were the two British guys like the
Yeah.
they
You've
do
seen them?
They do the Hearts of Iron 4 skits.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. I love that. Oh, I do watch their channel. Oh, I love their stuff. They're great. They were in Texas?
They
Yeah,
were visiting.
They came over here because apparently they got enough from their YouTube earnings that they financed a trip over here so that
Ooh.
they could actually ride around in real tanks. They even got one point they I believe they were in a Sherman Firefly and it got hit and disabled. And so they bailed out and they run over and they jumped into a British Challenger.
We used to have a Sherman here in Minnesota, but the guy who owned it sold it to some guy in California, and it's like, rest in peace. But I have Gunn riding a Sherman before, and it is an amazing experience. So we used to have a Sherman that would come out to events for World War II, but they sold it. And then there's also a guy who used to own a German half track. It was actually a Czech one, but after World War II, the Czech army just took all the German factories, so they kept building half tracks that were virtually the same.
Right.
And then rich reenactors are like, ooh, we'll take that, and they just modify it a little bit, paint it differently, and then it works for a German half track. That we used to have one of those in Minnesota, but that got sold, and we're like, so yeah.
You might. I don't think you've ever met or seen our practical effects artist, but Mark Anthony Craig lives in the UK. And he's a World War II reenactor with aircraft. He plays either an RAF pilot or a German pilot. And they had some static displays of fighter planes. They just sold one of them last year. So now he's only got the Spitfire, and he's showing up in the British uniform. His dad was in the Royal Air Force back in the 80s.
That's awesome. And is he good at War and Peace?
He was, I don't know. He was actually in a couple of BBC and PBS documentaries or, reenactment type films.
Yeah. I've been an extra in like 3 World War II films, 1 World War I film, and I've even been an extra / speaking part in like 3 Civil War films. So
cool.
The Civil War, just look up the Dakota War on Tubi. So that was filmed locally here. It's about a local Minnesota conflict during the Civil War. That was cool. Winter War is another one I've been in. I think most of them you can see on Netflix though. But yeah, so I've been an extra in those. We just got done filming I got to be in an Eastern Front film about Kursk a few months ago.
Wow.
That one's still not made yet, so they're still producing that one. So that's really cool. So I got to be an extra in that. Yeah, so I've been an extra in a few different war films. So and then
I made documentaries in the Navy, but most of them aren't available,
Speaking of the Navy, so what did you think of the one Runabout episode on the actual Yorktown?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Dreadnought Dominion made it.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Oh, you have?
Oh. Let me see.
They do a World War II time travel one.
Oh, yes. They went to the USS Yorktown. Yeah. That was a couple of years ago. I was trying to finagle a way to get there and do that because Charleston, we went to the Yorktown whenever I was in the high school. The Yorktown Memorial was established around the time I graduated from high school in South Carolina. And, our ROTC, Navy ROTC group went down there for a visit before it was ever opened as a museum. And, I served in the Navy for 20 years, so familiar with the environment and the uniform, especially that era. So I would have probably had the costume that I needed if I was going to be an extra on the ship. But yeah, I love that show. That they did a great job, especially with the Russian character and the costumes. Of course, the the location was fantastic. The script was fantastic. But what can you say? I mean,
it was a fun story though.
Yeah, it's a very fun story. Time travel stories can be, a go-to kind of a thing that people use a lot, but I don't think they have. You know what I mean? I think they've done a good job maintaining that. Hey, we're in this time, this era, and oops, now we're not. Okay.
See, I love time travel. Is one of my favorite aspects of science fiction.
Yeah.
And it's odd that I have not done a time travel episode yet. But I had Temporal Cold War, so I've done some stuff with that. But no,
right.
I do like the idea that. Well, I did actually do an episode where we go to the planet Echos.
Oh. Okay.
So I made that like in 2018 though. So that one is a full hour film though. If because I know some of the other guys did some reviews of my episodes. It's like that's the one episode they haven't done. So that's cool. So I got to use my uniforms for that. So that was a fun episode to do, but that's like the closest thing to a time travel episode I've done.
Was that a Starship Eagle episode you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, Eagle had 5 episodes. So my first one was like 15, second one was 15, third one was like 23, 25, next one was like 50, and the next one was also 50. So yeah.
Yeah, we have trouble doing reviews on films that are over 45 minutes long. We did one on Kristopher Lee Power is in a film, Halloween fan film. And we did a review, but it's not been released yet because it's so hard for me to get the time to go in and actually edit the review. You know what I mean? Because you got here we are, we're talking about this is what's going on. Here's the film. Now, what is your reaction? And you know how we're talking now, this is live. I could just let it go, you know what I mean? And let it be like it's live. But I like to add a little extras, like scenes from where you're talking about. You know, if you're saying, hey, I love the film, but obviously it's made in England because everybody's driving on the wrong side of the road. And so my suggestion would be, hey, film what you got to legally, to be safe, and then flip the film. Just flip the image. And now you're driving on the correct side of the road. You know what I mean? And if somebody notices the license tag, whatever.
Or just set it in England.
That's another idea.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Either way. I mean, they did a great job too. And they've got professional cameras, lighting, sound people, you name it. And Kristopher Lee Power is a professional actor. So, what's not to like?
Okay, I'm a little confused. Who is this Kristopher Lee Powers? I recognize the first name, not the...
Yes. Well, Kristopher Lee Power was named after Christopher Lee. He is Captain Cartier, in the holiday movie you saw tonight. So when Admiral Vandenbosch, when the Miranda shows up and talks to Admiral Vandenbosch, that's Kristopher Lee Power and his wife, Pauline. So yeah, and they live in England.
Cool. That'd be awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting to see different nationalities making fan films, though. So
that's the thing. See, we because we're green screen, we actually can. We've got an actress in the Philippines, the people in England, my daughter's in Germany. People in Italy are interested in playing with us. So,
Speaking of
be looking for the interview though of the Halloween film, and we've also got an interview with the filmmakers, including Kristopher Lee Power, coming up, and that's going to be an interesting podcast.
And he's named after. That's a pretty awesome actor to be named after.
Absolutely.
But have you seen Lorelei? That's a film.
Yes, German. Yes.
I would love to work with him to see if we can find a cameo, because my character.
Oh yeah.
My character, I put German, in mind. So I think that would be a very interesting.
Ja, natürlich. Warum nicht? Wir müssen.
Yeah, I was going to comment that with your last name, given the political temperature of this country, being seen in your costumes walking around in public might not be a good idea.
Yeah, it seems dangerous some places.
We usually just stick to the event, and as long as there's other GIs walking around, everyone kind of gets the context. So
Yeah, quick, hide that helmet with the thing on it, the red label.
Yeah, you don't want to be walking around in Seattle, people going, "Oh, look, a real Nazi."
Yeah.
No, you walk into Quick Trip, and they may look at you just confused, but three guys in boots with hobnails on it. You're clicking around because and hobnails, and you're walking.
What you want to do is when you do that, have a couple of guys wearing the uniform of American soldiers of that era accompany you in as if they're guarding you.
Yeah.
Well, that is the thing, but then again, most people unfortunately cannot recognize a uniform. So it's like when people walk up to you, you're in a German uniform. They're like, "Are you in the guard or something?" And I'm like,
what are they teaching in school nowadays?
I know. It's like,
oh my God.
That depends. Are you wearing a Waffen uniform?
Is it Waffen SS or
Waffen SS, or are you wearing a
regular German Army?
Regular
German
I have
Army.
tunics for both, honestly, but it's like people just don't look at it closely enough. It's like, oh, camo, or hey, green uniform with a belt. Are you National Guard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone like me or Steve, we would automatically recognize it.
Absolutely. We're
this guy's
students
wearing,
of history.
This guy's wearing the death's head. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to cross these guys. Yeah.
Exactly. But most people are just they just see a uniform, and it is unfortunate where it's like I don't expect you to know the difference between an M36 tunic and an M40 jacket, right? Okay, the spoiler is the collar, the bottom green collar is different. But no, I don't expect that. But at a certain point, it's like,
can't even recognize a World War II uniform, really.
Yeah, I mean,
man, I collected books about that kind of stuff, and hey,
and it's interesting where it's just like most people can't really tell the difference between uniform if someone walks in dressed as a Soviet versus
right.
And it's like a lot of the Allies uniforms are just all khaki anyway. So versus
the Soviets and the German uniforms looked a lot alike in the 30s and early 40s,
especially the long coats.
The boot, the trench coats. They still have the jack boots. They still have sort of the waist high leather belt. Yeah, certain things are, but the Soviets they definitely
have
the visor
caps. Those yeah, they are. That's it.
The ushankas.
It's just the emblems on them were different.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of people just don't see that don't look that closely, but they're just like, oh, cool, right? But no,
and the rank was a little different, but it's still.
Yeah. I mean, until you get back.
Well, we need to wrap up the show.
Okay.
We've been going for 2 hours almost. I'm gonna wrap it up, and we can stick around and talk behind the screen whenever I end the live stream, if you want.
I'll need to get going pretty soon.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So, well, I appreciate everybody being here. This was HarrisFilm live premiere of Time and Again, episode 2 from Jefferson Kelley. Be sure to check out his Beyond Trek podcast over on No Budget Productions YouTube channel. Special thanks to Vance Major and the No Budget Productions YouTube channel, where you can also see some of our stuff. And when we have a crossover film done, like Where Do You Go, it'll appear over on his channel first, and then a month later it'll come over here, because guess what? He wrote it. It's his production. He's the executive producer. So those things happen, and you know what? I'm proud to have films over on No Budget Productions and Phil Parrott Productions. Hi, Frank. Hi, Donna. So everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share our content. And we'll see you next time.
Awesome.
I'm hoping tomorrow to have another surprise, but it's not going to be one of those things where we're going live. So Stay tuned for our special tomorrow. Okay.
Awesome possum.
Good night, everybody.
Right.
I'm gonna remove everybody, and then we can talk.
All right.
Task Force 78, the stuff dreams are made of, where fandom and friendship are made of love, through Salisbury skies and the cosmic streams, we fly with HarrisFilm Productions, pioneers.
AV Club Online. Open Channel D.
Task Force 78, standing by.
Salisbury Control. Clear for warp. Review engines engaged.
All right, let's go!
Transmission complete.